Jim, Deb, and Kevin. Deb and Mimi are off on furlough this week. Well, Kevin, we're all broadcasting from separate locations here. We got some sad news over the weekend about the passing of an icon in broadcasting here in Indiana, the passing of Jim Gerard.
Live from the Channel 6 studios, the Jim Gerard Show with Charlotte Daniels, the George Nikoloff Orchestra, and Jim's special guests. And now, here's Jim.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome, one and all. My goodness. We have a lovely audience in the studio today, and I welcome you wherever you are on this Labor Day.
It's, of course, a Jim Gerard show that they had on Channel 6. Thanks, Channel 6, for that audio, too, as well. But it was not just a broadcaster that I looked up to, but he was a very close friend because he's the father of my best friend from high school, Jim Gerard Jr. I got to know Mr. Gerard. And I always call him Mr. Gerard. I still to this day call him Mr. Gerard because that's who he was to me. He was always helpful, especially in the career, because I had an interest in getting into radio. And he gave me some advice that I stuck with, and I'm here today because of the advice and the help that he gave me. So, he was more than just an icon in broadcasting here in Central Indiana. He was a dad to me.
Yeah, and what a great man too. We ran into him. I had to work with him professionally. Our family had a recording studio, and he would record his Hooks commercials and other broadcast endorsements that he did. He would do it in our studio. And it became my turn to actually run the recording session, and I was a nervous wreck because the broadcast legend, the icon, Jim Gerard, would be sitting in the other booth, the other room, while I was recording him. And I was just afraid I would mess up. But he was the nicest guy, just no ego at all, made me feel right at home, made me relaxed. He was one of those guys, though, we'd book an entire session, 1 hour session. He would record maybe 2 or 3 commercials in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, no mistake, just flawless. The rest of the time, the rest of the hour you spent telling wonderful stories. You were like, tell me another story, Mr. Gerard. This is great.
You had those dulcet tones anyway when you tell a story.
What a neat guy.
It really was. Of course, Jim Gerard passing, he was certainly going to be missed. He was 93 years old, but man, we're gonna miss you there. But thank you for making the city better. And Mr. Gerard, thank you for making me better.